We'll call to order the May 13th, 2014 Recreation Committee meeting. Mr. Dawson will lead us in the invocation and pledge of allegiance.
Let us pray. Father, as we come this evening, we give you thanks for all the blessings you bestowed upon us, all the challenges that you've given us, oh God, and we know that you give wisdom, oh God, for the answers. As we come to this meeting tonight, oh God, we ask for your wisdom to guide us through the processes of doing the things, oh God, that will benefit the people of Ascension Parish. We thank you for all that you've done and all you will continue to do. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All committee members are present. I'd like to remind everyone that come, if you wish to speak, you need to fill out a public comment card and bring it to the podium, and we'll call you up. We'll go to number 4, the director's report by Mr. Mike Moeller.
Good evening, Council. Just a quick update on a couple of things that we have going on. At Lorry Park, we have received all the materials to install the sewage, water, and electricity. We're in the process of kind of lining up the labor to get this taken care of. At Oak Grove, the construction's moving along well now, and I just kind of want to announce that the spray park is open. Last week we got everything taken care of. We had a couple leaks and a couple issues that we had to take care of, but it is open now. The lighting at the ballparks, which has been and it still is an issue, we're addressing this now. We have a couple guys going around assessing all the parks, light poles, to see which ones we need to replace completely, or if we just need to replace, some bulbs or light banks or what have you. So once we get that scope, we'll be able to move forward with that. Just wanted to announce that the recreation office in Donaldsonville, Aja, who is our program coordinator over there, is on maternity leave, but on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we will have someone physically in the office, and on Mondays and Thursdays, all calls will be transferred to us at Santa Mall Park. So if you have, any questions or whatever, when nobody's there, you can still get a hold of us at Santa Mall Park. And lastly, the Ascension Baseball Committee, which is the entity that runs the baseball on the east side, has been awarded the state tournament for Babe Ruth in the 15-year-old age group, and it's going to be held at Santa Mall Park, and this should have a pretty good economic impact. Any questions?
Hearing no questions, we'll move on to agenda item number 5. Councilman Joseph.
Yes, Councilman, I do have West Ascension Basketball Association is requesting that they do a summer league, and what happened this past fall, they had 160 kids, and currently they had a lot of parents asking for the summer league. They currently have over 160 kids plus additional about 200 kids interested in this, and this includes boys and girls in the summer league. And base is just a 6 to 8 weeks program. And I think they have some other coaches out there and parents out there to participate in this. And if you have their name, I know I see them out there.
We got Mr. Murray Walker.
Sir, Mr. Chairman, council members, again, my name is Murray Walker. I'm from Downsville. I've been involved in the basketball program as well as, the league program over there. Yes, it is imperative that we do have a summer league program over there. And like Mr. Joseph said, that the kids and the parents, as well as the grandparents, are asking, for summer basketball. I think it'll be a great asset to that community alone because, again, in the summer, our kids over there don't have anything to do. We don't have nothing. When I say nothing, nothing besides them getting in trouble. and I would not like to see that happen. So if we can get this summer program pushed, and kids will be in the gym, I myself, along with Mr. Foster, will definitely be in the gym, as long as we are needed to be in that gym to make sure that these kids have something to do during the summer. So if you guys can, please, allow us to have that program going on in Downsville. Again, it's not for us, but it's for our kids over there. I appreciate your time, and I thank y'all.
Next, we have Mr. Floyd Foster.
Good afternoon. Name is Floyd Foster, and I am the vice president. We have a board on the west side for Biddy basketball, and Murray pretty much has summed it all up. We're just trying to give the kids something to do. I've been doing it for 14 years, and I would like to add to what we are doing. We never did a summer league before, but we hope that we could do it this time to make it a good success for our kids in Donaldsonville. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
All right, and the only other thing is, I just want to address that. They have one basketball court in Donaldsonville, and it's between two ballrooms. And every afternoon, they have kids out there, about 100, out there playing basketball. And it's not a full court. It's just a foundation from a building they tore down, and they play on it. And that's where they play at all summer. So the summer league would help all those kids, and it wouldn't be in that environment. It'd be in a protected environment. And like I say, the past fall Biddy basketball league was a success, and I know this summer league would be a success. So I'm just asking if y'all will approve the summer league program for that.
What is the funding for it? Y'all have a cost, what it would take to?
Well, this is the,
Okay.
yeah. They give you we gave them a
And
budget.
that's in y'all budget,
Right.
correct?
Uh-huh.
Make a motion to approve.
I second.
Motion by Councilman Lambert to approve the summer league, and seconded by Councilman Lambert. Any objection? No objection, it passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have agenda item number 6, and what it is a proposed recreation millage for the recreation plan that we've been going around the parish with. And tonight, we'd like to bring forth a motion for a 5 millage proposed tax.
Yeah, question.
Yeah, what-
I guess my biggest thing on this millage, there again, I know I came forward in transportation with a small plan on roads, but this 5 mil would do what? Do the master plan that we had, but the majority of it would still be going to Lamar Dixon, $16 million?
No, majority of it will be going to the local parks.
Well, I'm looking at it right here.
Cost breakdown, say.
It's 15+ million. And, you know, we had Mr. Percy do us a study, and what come out of most of the meetings to me was that the people wanted the neighborhood parks, because there's gonna be a lot of trouble getting to the Lamar Dixon at 4:30 in the evening with the chemical plants right there. So I still see the majority of this millage, I'm not sure, but I see around 15 million for sure right there going to Lamar Dixon. And, you know, I think we need to concentrate more on our neighborhood parks. And again, you know, we got some priorities to look at for us taxing, and if we don't have any infrastructure and roads to get to these parks, we ain't better get our kids there, you know, and that's one thing we got to concentrate first on, is getting some infrastructure in this parish.
Councilman Joseph?
Yeah, and Ty, I understand what you're saying, but I wanna clarify something, because I think the public And when you say Lamar Dixon, I think of Lamar Dixon totally separate now. This is a recreation complex. This is not Lamar Dixon. This funding does not go to one of those arenas or none of that. This money here goes strictly for recreation building, strictly. Other than that, I would not vote for this. I'm not in support of it. I want the public to understand, we are trying to be more specific on the building for recreation. This money is for recreation, nothing else. So the building, they have soccer field, that's recreation. They have an amphitheater, we call that recreation, that's part of it. These basketball courts, that's recreation. The lake, that's recreation. Those existing buildings out there, this money is not for that. If I'm wrong, anyone out there in the audience, please tell me I'm wrong. Because I want the public to be clear. Do not put this money as Lamar Dixon money. It's not. Too many people have sit and work on this here to get this confused with Lamar Dixon and Lamar Dixon Recreation Complex. I think we have went to the public. You have several meetings. You come here, you stand up there and tell you what the people want. And I do not want to have them confused. So if you're going to state $15 million is going to Lamar Dixon Recreation Complex, I'm all for it. But
Well, I agree with, it's
I know.
recreation. I know Lamar Dixon is recreational, but that's not a big
You know.
issue. But it is, if you look right here, look at Lamar Dixon, that's $15 million out of 23 million or 24 million out of this millage. And how many ball fields that we have out throughout the parish? We're on West Bank and East Bank.
Mm.
We have, I think Mike might be able to come up with that number on exactly how many parks? 30 some odd ballparks. We're looking at one facility right here. And again, a lot of outdoor activity. I was at a chemical plant yesterday that we had a shelter in place. And there's chemical plants in the back door of all these places. And we're gonna bring our small kids to some functions that one day it's gonna bite us, 'cause it's gonna happen.
And watch this here. You know,
But it is rec. I don't
know,
doubt what you're saying.
I'm
I
gonna
know
use this
it's
for
rec.
example though.
Yeah.
I got CF coming over there. It's less than a mile away from limit. I mean, what it is, Tommy? From our recreation complex. Guess what? Earlier, you just said that we welcome chemical plants. That's what make our living. We have to live with them. We ask for them, we have to live with them. And I mean, this is not all I'm just saying is, this is the environment we are in. And I see too many people that have been part of this recreation right now getting involved with it, would never got involved with this. They don't even come to the parish government for anything. Too many new faces I see out there. They want this. If this is what the public want, I'm 110% behind it. You want 200 baseball fields? If you're going to fight for them and you're going to vote for them, you can have them. I just don't think this was what the public want from what I see from all the committees, members. Then give them a chance. Vote for it. If the public vote for it and they want it, we build them. That's the way I feel about it.
Have a few public speaker cards. The first one will be Jonathan Scott. Oh, it's Barbara Carey, excuse me.
Good evening. My name is Barbara Carey. I'm president of the Communication Institute in Baton Rouge, and we've been working with the committee, the Citizens Advisory Committee, on this topic. And I just wanted to do a few introductory remarks because this is basically their presentation, but we're going to talk about more parks, arts, and trails that are close to home. The plan you're going to see tonight was vetted at 5 public meetings that Adrian Percy told you about. At the last meeting. We advertised these meetings, we had a good turnout, and we had a Facebook page with nearly 2,000 hits on it. So people are very interested in this topic. Mr. Percy presented the results at the Recreation Committee meeting on April the 7th, and we took those results and we worked them into this final plan that you're going to see tonight. And the plan is recommended by the Citizens Advisory Committee. I want to just say a minute about this committee. This group represents all areas of recreation and arts. All areas of recreation and arts. They participated in the public meetings, and this committee is 32 members strong from all over the parish. They reviewed the public comments, and they've approved the plan that we're presenting to you tonight. Just want to say a few things, if I could. I want to say a few things about the results of the public meetings. What we heard of the public meetings were people want to build a sense of community in Ascension Parish, not just a place where you go for shelter, food, and sleep, but it's a place where you have a real community. They want to upgrade the local parks, as Mr. Lambert said, very, very strongly, and they do want that. They have money for maintenance and security. They want sports for all ages, including seniors. They want to do more programming, and they want to publicize that programming. And that recreation also includes arts, not just sports. A lot of people that came to our meeting said that we're missing the boat on tournaments, and we'll talk about that tonight. There was no opposition to the community park on the Lamar Dixon property. There was no opposition to the multi-use park. People are excited about having a community park. Paddling and nature trails were very important to the people that participated. And don't forget about the West Bank. We heard that over and over. Also include some land for Boy Scout camping. And there was a widespread support for the plan that we presented. We also heard not to ignore the needs of the handicapped and make sure that we are promoting and helping activities for the handicapped and disabled in our parish of all ages. And at this time, Jonathan Scott is going to come and speak about the local parks.
Hi, Jonathan Scott. I live in Prairieville. Every local park is going to see upgrades. Some of these upgrades are going to be playground equipment, power and lighting, walking trails, better pavilions, newer repaired restrooms, resurfaced courts, family picnic areas, which we heard a lot about during these meetings. No place in the parish to simply, step out and have lunch with your kids or your friends out in a nice area. New tennis courts will be added at Santa Mall Park and Highway 621 Park. Meeting places, and some of the detail on local parks is in the handout available tonight. In addition to the upgrades of the existing parks, we're going to have some new activity parks that are noted here. This area, if you look at a map of outdoor paddling and biking recreation in the state, the area surrounding Baton Rouge, including Ascension Parish, is a vacuum. And if you want to attract young professionals, this is some of the quality of life items that you really want to have in the parish. New kayak and boat launches on our numerous parish waterways. We have over a dozen small waterways that are perfectly suitable for paddle trails, bike trails alongside, and no public access. 2 new spray parks are planned for Santa Maria and Dutchtown. People love those spray parks. Spanish Lake will have a nature trail and a Boy Scout campground, as well as fishing piers, boat launches, and picnic areas. We're working with both public and private property out there, and it's some exciting opportunities in that area. Possible to get out there and not know that you're so close to the city. We're expanding the shooting range and skeet area. You may not know that local 4-H shooting sports, we place nationally almost every year. If you can win, if a kid can win here in Ascension Parish, they're almost guaranteed to go to nationals. District 11 will get a fishing pond and pier, and we're also planning a dog park. And I'm especially glad to see that we're going to take advantage of the waterways we have in our parish. I'll just name a few that we could have paddle trails along: Blind River, New River, Bayou Conway, Panama Canal, Bayou Francois, Petit Amit, Bayou Pierre, Black Bayou, Savario Canal, Bayou Bro, McCall Bayou, and Old New River. Fantastic places to get back there. Not a whole lot of power boats and practically no public access. And, you know, connecting to Breck. Breck has spent a lot of money building a infrastructure of bike trails and paddle trails. And they haven't started construction on the lines that are coming all the way down to Ascension Parish. And we've already talked to those guys about lining those up with potential trails that'll take you through into Ascension Parish. In addition, there's an opportunity to connect to a trail coming down the Mississippi River levee and allow people to bike all the way up into St. Francisville. So now Murray Walker will discuss recreation plans for the West Bank.
Once again, good evening. Again, I'm Murray Walker, representing, the West Bank Ascension Parish. What we see is basically the Downsville Fairgrounds right now. And, in the fairgrounds, as you can see, there's plans for 2 open basketball courts, upgrade the existing fields that are there, the baseball fields, as well as putting a lake and, multi-purpose building out in that area. Not only that, there's also plans for, the Tyler's Park and walking trails. Right now, we don't have nowhere over there where people can actually go and walk. That right there would be a plus in itself. That's not only for, teenagers, but senior citizens as well. We're talking a lot about, the kids, but we also got to remember our senior citizens as well. And I think that right there alone, for them somewhere to go walk, would be a plus in its entirety. Not only that, I keep harping on basketball, and please forgive me for doing that, but by me being a huge part in that program, that right there, if we put a gym in that area, then that's going to help out with, the bitty basketball tournaments, et cetera, coming back into the Downsville area, which we haven't had that in quite some time. So with that being said, listening and seeing, it's huge. It's very, very important that, we push forward on this project. Soccer fields as well. I'm sorry if I forgot the soccer field. Mark, please forgive me. But, soccer fields are going to be added in that vicinity as well. 2 soccer fields, in fact. Again, I mentioned the multi-purpose building. It's a huge plus as well. They don't have not too many places over there where families can gather, family reunions, et cetera. And I think that multi-purpose building would be a plus as well. This is so huge, so important, not only for West Ascension, but Ascension as a whole. Mr. Lambert, I know you stressed the fact about, we keep hollering about, Lamar Dixon. True, it states Lamar Dixon, but again, like Mr. Joseph said, it is recreation. So tournament fields, would love to have them out there. Love to have tournament teams in this area. But again, we cannot, like you said, forget about your local parks as well. In fact, on the West Bank, we have 3 local parks: Aben Park, Lemonville Park, Moorhead Park. All they want is better security lighting, restrooms, and electrical outlets. I don't think that's a lot to be asked for. And with this tax being passed, I'm quite sure, you're going to put a smile on a lot of people's faces over there. I know mine, in fact, I'm gonna have a huge smile on my face. So with that being said, please, let's push forward. Let's move forward with this, Mr. President. And, let's make this happen. I'm not gonna sit here and keep talking about it. I'm about action. So if we don't put forward the action, then this is never gonna happen. So again, for the people who are listening to me on the west side of the river, I'm begging that we push this. I'm not asking, I'm begging that we push this. It's long, long overdue. And this is something that is really needed. I'm sorry, Ms. Barber, if I got off a little bit, but, kind of speaking from the heart here. It's not this paper that's in front of me, it's from the heart. So with that being said, let's push forward with this project. Any questions, comments, criticism, whatever? If there be any, or any at all, Ms. Allison Leaks? Hi, Allison.
Good evening. I'm Allison Leak, and I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the multi-sports complex and why I think this is a great opportunity for our parish to grow, especially with everyone that's coming into our parish and all the kids that will be coming. I'm really excited about this. We have 150 acres that are undeveloped right next to Lamar-Dixon. So there's no reason for us to go and look for more land. There's no reason for us to spend more money. So we definitely need to make sure that we're using that 150 acres to the best use that we can. And I think this multipurpose facility would be awesome. This is a destination park that we're talking about not only for Ascension Parish residents, but we're talking about just Louisiana residents and even just people in the South in general because of the number of baseball fields and soccer fields and football fields and the expansion of the gym. There's just so many things that we can have at this facility. We're looking at 3 multi-use football fields that can also be used for lacrosse, and I know that we have club lacrosse teams in our high school, so that would be great use for them. We have 7 soccer fields that we're looking at, 7 baseball fields that also have batting cages along with them. We also have a performing arts center, and I'll bring that picture up. And this Performing Arts Center that we're looking at right here has about 780 seats, which can be multi-use as well. We're talking about graduations, dance recitals, theater performances, music concerts. When you're looking at high schools, and I'm a high school teacher, so when you're talking about high school things that go on, y'all know each of our high schools, they are busting at the seams. And so all of these things that we're looking right here happen on a monthly basis. The gym that we're talking about is actually taking the gym that is on Lamar-Dixon's property right now and expanding it. And this is so important, especially to me. If we're taking this gym and expanding it right now, we literally have one gym in Ascension Parish. It is this gym to the public. And I know that our high schools are public tax money that we are supposed to be able to use, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a head volleyball coach at a high school, and I can barely get use of it outside of our own season. So I'm telling you, for you to go in, you're talking about big bucks. You're talking about a liability for the school that they heavily look at. To be able to bring someone outside in is very difficult into our schools. And so when you look at that, this is literally our only public gym in the parish, which means we have one basketball court for the entire Ascension Parish. We have 2 volleyball courts. And I can expand a little bit more on that. Being the high school volleyball coach at San Juan High School, I'm also a club director here. And as a club director, we have over 100 girls in this parish that play in our club. We have to cut girls in tryouts. And I don't want to have to, but we do because we literally don't have the facility for them, which is a shame. We had 14 teams, but we could have up to 18, 20 teams where all of these young girls could have the possibility to play. We also are looking at a gym that could possibly host big tournaments. And again, I know, we talk about, well, we have all these baseball fields and softball fields and we have these gyms. I host a tournament for our club in order for us to stay alive. And we have 75 to 100 teams. And we, this past year, had to go outside of the parish to rent a facility because what we have inside the parish is not enough because it's always booked, someone's always using it, we can't get into all the schools. It's just impossible for the number of people that we have in this parish. I think that this plan is an excellent plan to expand. We're talking about 6 basketball courts, 6 or more volleyball courts that we can fit into a facility like this. And we have the grounds. We're just expanding and making it bigger and better and rejuvenating it. The park itself that we're talking about, this multi-use facility, is going to be managed by the parish. And I know that was something that was big that y'all talked about right before we started talking. And this is not going to be Lamar Dixon. This is going to be run by the parish government. And so, you know, with the parish taking that, Lamar Dixon is kind of taken out of that. And I think that is a good thing for our recreation and parks. And now I'm going to ask Dante Perkins to come up, and he'll talk to you a little bit more about hosting tournaments and the revenue that it will bring in. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Council. My name is Dante Perkins. I'm going to speak a little on the revenue that tournaments can bring in. The multi-use sportsplex will be able to host very large tournaments, including baseball, basketball, volleyball, badminton for the elderly that are still looking to participate in competition, and soccer. Also hold graduation for high schools if weather permits. It has an ease of accessibility, being less than half a mile away from the exit on I-10. It has the ability to build a sense of community through not only not having to travel long distances to attend tournaments, and has a easier access for the elderly in our parish, grandparents whose grandchildren are participating in sports. I'm myself am a AAU coach for a local organization here, and the distances we have to travel to participate in tournaments and the money that we spend outside of the parish can easily be spent. I know for myself, we're about to go to Houston, matter of fact, this weekend, and I've already spent $300 and we haven't even touched down yet. And to further that note, a very large tournament that occurs in New Orleans, it's called the All-State Sugar Bowl Super 60. To date, they have 411 teams registered for this tournament. That's at 11 players per team on average. That's 4,500 players. On top of that, you have their parents. On top of that, you may have their grandparents also attending. That's about 10,000 people that all need lodging, food, shopping. A recreation center of this magnitude also has the ability to attract businesses, such as more hotels, more shopping centers, more restaurants. Bottom line, that these tournaments raise a lot of money. They will fill hotel rooms easily, and restaurants, and this will raise the tax revenue for the parish. Now allow me to introduce Mr. Aaron Lawler, who will present the cost and funding for this project.
Good evening, and thank you for letting me speak. Part of the proposed funding is a $5 million assessment over a 10-year period, which is anticipated to bring in $58 million. This would be split 50-50 over construction and then maintenance. Now, the construction cost, including engineering, surveying, testing, is projected to be about $30.3 million. The remainder, the remainder of the amount would go towards maintenance, which is something that we are lacking right now. We're unable to do construction or to plan for maintenance at this time because although the council has been very generous, we can't count on the money year after year because we don't know what we're going to get. And that makes planning, maintenance, construction very difficult. Now, this is something we'd like to place on the ballot for November 4th of 2014. But in conjunction with the millage, this is also an opportunity to go after public grants from federal and state government, but also public and private partnerships. I know that this is possible. In fact, earlier this week, I have an indoor soccer team that my son plays on. I was able to secure a sponsor for that team. They're buying all the uniforms, the jerseys, everything that we need. That took one phone call and a typed out proposal, hey, will you sponsor this team? These kids could really use it. And we got it. Now that's something that we can do on a much larger scale within Ascension Parish, and even for people outside of Ascension Parish that wish to help sponsor and help recreation within the parish. And that's something that doesn't cost the taxpayer a dollar, but the people that are going to want to give to make Ascension Parish better, they do want to see the taxpayers put something into it. And that's what this millage would be about, but we'd get so much more out of it. Now, part of getting more out of it, though, and the cost, and everybody's going to look at, what is this going to cost the homeowners? Well, according to the numbers that we've drawn up here, a home value of $150,000, we're talking about a monthly cost on a 5 mil is $3.13. A $200,000 home value, we're talking about an annual cost of $62.50. That costs less than me taking my family to see Spider-Man this past weekend. That's over an entire year. I took them to one movie, and I paid more than that. Now, an entire year of good parks, good recreation, a safe place to play, keeping the kids off the street, giving my parents and grandparents places to go and things to do, whether it's to see their grandchildren play or to go to the park to sit, relax, and read. That's something that could be a great benefit to this parish. Now, you know, I've spent a lot of time the past 2 weekends at 2 separate crawfish boils. One of them was at Manchac Plantation. The other one was at Lakes of Ascension. And I talked this plan up to the people there because it was a big community thing, a lot of people I know over there. And I was amazed by the support that it got. The people in those communities, I live further over in Prairieville, were really into it. It's something they really wanted to see happen. And this was from people with children to people that had no children that were almost retirees. They weren't quite there yet. That said there wasn't enough for them to do in Ascension Parish. And they talked about going down to New Orleans to do things, going to Baton Rouge to do things, but not spending their money here in the parish. And this was a wide array of people, just in those 2 communities there, in those 2 subdivisions, that really liked this plan. Now, I've also been asked to talk about the taxing districts of Ascension. And one of the key things that I noticed about the taxing districts was the libraries. Now, I have a library close to my house on Highway 42. I go to it sometimes. I have a membership. Based on you know, the millage and what's being paid, I know I'm not getting my $120 worth out of the library system. But I can tell you I'm going to get my money's worth out of going to the parks. Now, what we're proposing, this 5 mils, is less than what the libraries get each year. But if we could keep kids going to libraries and to the park, because what's easier than getting a kid to go to a park? Yeah, I can get mine to go to the library, but they'd rather be at the park. We want to get kids physically fit. We want to get them stronger. That's a great way to do it. Let's get them in the parks. Now, I'm taking nothing away from the libraries. They're important. But it's very easy to pick up your Kindle or your iPad and get a book on there with just a tap of the finger. Mom and Dad don't have to take you to the library. But you can't hit your Kindle. You can't go on your video game and have a great day in the sun. Or you can't go have a picnic in your living room because you got a video game there. We're trying to get the community together, and this is a great way to do it. Another thing that I'd like to talk about briefly is BREC, because we're talking about funding here. BREC has a dedicated funding of 14.038 mils. That's an annual budget of $44 million annually. We're talking about $58 million over 10 years. I mean, this is something Ascension Parish can do. We are a growing parish. The reason that we're a growing parish is because we have a great school system. That's one of the biggest reasons. We are drawing people into this parish because of that. That means that the school system means that these people have families, and families enjoy recreation. They need a place to do it. Whether it's at a larger facility or the neighborhood parks, they want to be there and they want to enjoy it with everybody, and this is how you build a community. Now, BREC has just passed a community improvement plan, capital improvement plan to the tune of 10 years, $73 million. And that passed very well there. We can do the same thing in Ascension Parish. A lot of the people that live in Ascension Parish that I know, that I've met, have moved in from East Baton Rouge Parish. You know, they moved in for the schools, but obviously they were supporting parks and recreation over there. They're going to support it here. This has got widespread community support from what I've seen. I do have to go a little off topic for a second, because at one of our meetings, somebody came to me that was involved in Ascension Parish longer than I've been, and said, well, you know, we should have done this 10 to 15 years ago. You know, this should have been done a long time ago. And it was almost flippant. And I'm thinking, well, that's great, but that's not an excuse to do it, not to do it now. Yes, we have other needs. I agree that sewage is important, and we're working on that. Roads are important, but we can't ignore recreation. Recreation is very important. It's a factor of life. It makes life good. You know, sitting in traffic is one thing, but we don't want people sitting in traffic because they're going to New Orleans or they're going to Baton Rouge to go play. We want them to be here in town. We're going to get those roads done. We're going to get the sewage done. Let's give them somewhere. Let's give them a reason to stay here, to keep their tax dollars here, to have a tournament here, to book the hotels, get in the restaurants, and support our own community. Thank you all. All right, if you have any questions, I'm open.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Mark Peters with Hope Youth Development. I want to talk to you guys more about the recreation proposal. We believe that recreation adds a great deal of value here in Ascension Parish. It builds a sense of community. By having these parks and other facilities, it helps save travel time and provides more family time by not having to drive to Baton Rouge, to New Orleans. One thing that it does, it helps increase positive behavior in kids whenever they have mentors as coaches that deal with these kids on a everyday basis. One thing that we talked about is encouraging performing arts here at some of the facilities that we do have. All of the money generated from tournaments is a great thing. The recreation director just announced that we were awarded, the parish was awarded the Babe Ruth tournament. By having more facilities, you can do a lot more tournaments. The lady spoke earlier, the teacher spoke about having one gym that the parish owns. As large as we are, that is not good to have only one gym. If you had a tournament for basketball, there would be nowhere to do it unless you had the school board to buy in to allow you usage of the school. Another thing, all of these things that we talked about and everybody that talked prior to me, it enhances the quality of life. Envision more parks, arts, and trails close to home. We welcome your comments and questions. Thank you, Board.
Is that the last speaker? Yeah.
Where you want to speak?
Mr. Chairman. I think that was the last speaker, Chairman, Councilman Dempsey Lambert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, I'd like to get back to the proposal here of the breakdown in each part. You know, it's good to have this, but, you know, I'm gonna let you know right now, a lot of things are gonna have to change. You know, I have Paula Park. This year, has been the record of, we over 700? Over 700? You mentioned the parents, the grandparents, everyone that's coming. I mean, I have no parking for all of this. You know, we're gonna have to have something that we can accommodate all these folks. I mean, and, you know, I don't have a problem with the T-ballers, but we have the little special needs field there also. And, you know, it's just not enough ground there to cover all this, but lights out there at Santa Mall Park. Some of this stuff is out there, what, 35, 40 years old? It's obsolete. I mean, we spending, I think we just signed off on a $30,000 bill with Sun Electric to get some of the lights fixed out there. If, I don't know, we're gonna play day games, you know, no night games? You know, this is some of the things we need to start making decisions if, you know, this don't happen. The maintenance part of it, this is gonna get, it's gonna get very touchy down the road if we don't have something in place to cover, like you said, all of the growth that's coming into the parish. Man, this is gonna be one of those we really need to, and look, I wanna commend our chairman and Mr. Turner. All of the speakers out here, this is what you have to get to buy in to get something moving, because, hey, Travis, you did a great job with this, and I wanna thank everyone out there that's helped you along with this, and, I'm a go along with my partner here, Mr. Joseph. I mean, I'm gonna support you, and look, if the folks wanna agree, hey, let's go with it. If they don't, we're gonna have to find and make some hard decisions that, you know, that a lot of folks don't wanna hear. But, I'm gonna support this, and, good job, Travis. Thank you.
Councilman Joseph.
Yeah, I've been coming to the meeting, and if I'm wrong or mistaken, have we had anyone came to this meeting for recreation on this plan and spoke against it that I can recall? No one. That's never happened. I've been here for 8 years, and they always had someone to come and speak against an issue that we was going for. This is the first time when they had this many people speak on it and was always positive about it. I mean, it's a win-win for this parish. It's a win-win for our kids. So, like Mr. Lambert just said, Travis, I gotta give you kudos on this here. You're stuck with the plan, you got your people together, and, you know, I feel real good about this thing going on the ballot, and it passing about 60 to 70%. That's the way I feel. So kudos to you, this committee, and the public. And I hope you support this here for the future, for the kids.
I agree. I haven't heard anybody come here and say anything negative here in any of the meetings, but I can tell you that I've heard from a lot of people out going around the parish, actually at some of the parks here in the parish, and a lot of what I've heard, and I haven't had one person come to me and tell me, hey, I hope we do that. Not one, other than sitting in here tonight. This is the first time. I didn't get to make it to any of the public meetings, but this is the first time that I've had anybody sit there and say that. Not that anybody's against recreation or you know, everybody loves to have this stuff and wants to have it, but most of the people in the parish feel that we have a lot more important things with roads and sewage and those things that we need to do first. And they've already told us, hey, I want y'all to figure out ways to do more with what we have and look at those things. We keep bringing taxes to them to keep voting it down, and it's to a lot of people a slap in the face that we just keep bringing more and more taxes, and we're not really changing anything else that we're doing. And so, I mean, I've had, like I said, a whole lot of people from my district that have emailed me, called me, come up to me in public and told me that they do not support this. They do not want to see it on the ballot. And so, I mean, I can't support it. And on top of that, we're now talking still. We just pushed to get a thing for taxing districts passed. we're talking about impact fees, and not just impact fees for traffic, but also for 3 or 4 other things. Now, we broaden that scope. We're talking about doing another transportation tax, and now we're adding on top of this. So yeah, this is not a huge tax. But when you start adding them all up together, when we're already paying so many taxes, I mean, you're starting to tax people out of where they can't even live in their home. What good is it to have recreation if you don't have a home to live in the parish because you can't afford it to be able to take your kids to go to do the recreation? I mean, I know there's a lot of people in this parish, a lot of them, that live paycheck to paycheck, and an extra $10, $15, $20, $30 a month puts them out of their budget. They got to go cut some very important things in their homes and in their families before they can go and do anything else. I mean, we need to think long and hard about all these taxes that we're continuing to put up to pass on people, because yet there's circumstances that happen every time that we do that. And so we need to look at these things very, very careful. And I just, like I said, I've had enough people come to me and tell me they don't support it and ask me not to support it, that I just can't do it.
Yeah, and earlier, before this meeting took place, we had a transportation, and yeah, I did push for a half-cent sales tax. Parish president said we would end up with about $7 million that would come out of general fund that, you know, we could maybe put on some other, you know. It's kind of like Brian, we're putting a lot in one basket at one time, and guess what? The people's gonna come in November, and I'm leery now, if this is going on the ballot in November, whether I even pursue the half-cent sales tax. Because when people see more than one tax, all of us are going down. And this how Ascension Parish has been voting in the past. We've been getting a black eye every time we bring something to the ballot. This is a massive recreation plan, and I commend Travis, Parish President, because Lamar Dixon is making money right now. But I think we can gradually build these parks, but just to tell you, all at one time, throw it up there. It's the same thing we need for roads. Can we get $500 million at one time on roads? No, we can't do that. We have to take our time and build it. The sewer plan is going to be $900 million to do a parish-wide sewer study. Can we tell the people, hey, we need $900 million. Can I have it right now? And let's do it. It can't happen. But we can phase it. We can work it. And I'm all for these recs. I'm the youngest of 11. I have 10 brothers and sisters, and we all live here in Ascension Parish. I'm very proud of Ascension Parish. And a lot of my family, you know, played sports all the way from all types of sports, not just, you know, ball. And, but we need to phase it in, I think. We're not doing the same thing, like I say, with roads. We're not doing the same thing with sewer. I don't think we need to do the same thing with rec, is throw it, you know, all at one time. We are behind on all of this, rec, roads, sewer, you name it. We've been behind 20 or 30 years, and it's hard to catch up overnight, guys. It's hard to put that burden on the citizens for that much taxes. Yeah, Brian mentioned impact fees, 3 or 4 different impact fees, millage taxes. We're going to have to add some more subsidies for sewer. What we have right now in the books is just a small plan for sewer, $60 million loan that's going to do just a little small section in the Prairieville section. Nope, the east part of the parish, it might be 30 years from now before we see parish-wide sewer. And it's needed. It's definitely needed, and the federal government is sooner or later going to mandate that we do it. That's why we're moving forward with what we have now. So I don't know, guys. I think we are pushing the gun here a little quick, but I talked to the parish president, you know, and I commend him on Lamar Dixon. He had a vision to move forward with it, and he's making it work. It's coming out on the plus side, and he's doing a great job with it, and eventually we can make that place grow to what we see here on the screens today. But to throw it all at once, I have a little problem with that. Thank you.
You made the motion.
Oh, how about that? I'm going to make the motion. I mean, somewhere along the line, you got to move forward. Bottom line. And I'm making a motion that we put $5 million on the ballot for November.
I'll second that, Mr.
recreation.
Chairman.
Motion by Councilman Joseph, second by Denson Lambert. Any objections?
Object.
Yeah.
Objection by Councilman Lambert and Councilman Malonzo. And I'm for it. I'm definitely for it. So, motion passes.
Just one other discussion, Mr. Chairman. I don't know if it was a typo here, but on Paula Park, I know I've been telling my folks that I was gonna have a spray park out there, and I want to make sure that spray park is in there. So make sure it gets in.
I just want to make a quick comment on I'd like to thank everyone for the citizen committee who has participated in the process thus far and has helped put this plan together, and who has been to all the meetings and came to the recreation meetings and took time out of their schedules to help us put this plan together. This is just the beginning, and we have a few more months left until the November election, and we're going to need your help to put this plan out there as far as to the citizens of the parish to try to get this millage assessment passed. And we just want to implore you to keep at what you're doing, to keep talking to people, keep speaking to individuals at those parks, those games, and let them know about the good things that this millage can do and will do for the parish once it's passed in November. And with that, we'll go on to number 7, the change order for Oak Grove. Mr. Muller.
Change order number 2 for Oak Grove. I'm requesting 67 days. The money's going to stay the same, but we ran
Motion,
into a
Mr.
bunch
Chairman.
of.
I second.
Motion.
Thank you.
Motion by Councilman Lambert, second by Councilman Lawson. Any objection? Passes.
Motion adjourned, Mr. Chairman.
Motion adjourned by Councilman Lambert, second by Councilman Joseph. Meeting adjourned.